steal? Lena says, a can of peaches. The judge said, how many peaches were in that can? She said, 6. So he goes, you get 6 days in jail for those peaches. But just as he was about to pound the gavel, Ole stands up and he says, and the judge says, what is it, Ole? She says, she also stole a can of peas. The lake's freeze, you can walk on them, you can snowmobile on them, you can fish on them. So they run out of something, they run out of milk or something. And Lena comes up to Ole and she says, go over across the lake and get some milk. And Ole says, all right, how do I pay? She says, oh, just charge it. She says, well, why don't you give me the money? Lena says, I don't know how thick the ice is. I didn't think you'd get that one. That's fine. All right, this one's better. This one, the ice is not frozen. That's Sven. And Sven drops his sunglasses in the water. And, I don't know, maybe they're Ray-Bans or something. He's like, oh, I gotta go in and get them. He jumps in, goes down for his sunglasses. After a while, they don't see him, and they realize, well, he doesn't know how to swim. So Ole goes down there, he dives in, and he's down there for a little while. All of a sudden, he lunges out, he has a body, and he puts it down. He starts to do mouth and mouth, and all of a sudden he says, Ole says, I don't recall Sven having this bad breath. And Lena says, I don't remember him wearing that snowmobile suit either. Alright. So Ole's sitting at home and he hears a knock on the front door. And when he opens the door, there's these 2 sheriff deputies and they've got just sad looks on their faces. Ole says, is there a problem? And one of the deputies asks if Ole is married, and if so, can you see a picture of his wife? Ole says, sure, and he goes and he grabs a picture of his wife, Lena, and the sheriff says, I'm sorry, sir, but it looks like your wife's been hit by a truck. And Ole says, yeah, but she's a great personality and a great cook. So Ole now, he's on his deathbed. He's had a good life. He's laying there. He's just deathly ill. He barely has the strength to speak. All of a sudden, he smells from downstairs the scent of his favorite meatloaf. So Ole, he says, he just gets up a little strength. He slides out of bed. He just climbs down the stairs on his stomach. He goes into the kitchen. He reaches up for a piece of meatloaf, and Lena smacks his hand and says, Ole, those are for after the funeral. All right, I got a couple more. These are little bartender jokes. These are jokes that my boss told me. I thought they were pretty funny, so I'm sharing with you. So a piece of string walks into a bar. He grabs a stool, he pulls up and says, bartender, give me a drink. The bartender says, we don't serve your kind around here. And he throws the string out on the street. And the string's sitting out there and he's like, bartender won't give me a drink. All of a sudden he thinks, I know, I'll go in disguise. So he contorts himself up into a completely different shape and he pushes his hair all afro and he goes in and he asks the bartender, can I have a drink? The bartender says, aren't you that string I threw out 5 minutes ago? The string says, no, I'm afraid not. This dog walks in the bar, and he goes up and he says, can I have a drink? And the bartender says, yeah, I mean, I guess. And then the man next to him says, I'm not drinking with no dog. And the dog's offended and they get in a fight. And the man pulls out a gun and shoots the dog in the foot. The dog goes out, he disappears there, nobody's seen him for a week. And he stumbles back into the bar. He's wearing all black. He's got black Colt 45 on both sides, and he's got a black bandage on his foot. He comes up and he says to the bartender, I'm looking for the man that shot my pa. I have 3 more. So this pony walks into the bar, and the pony says to the bartender, "Bartender, may I have a drink? May I have a drink?" And the bartender says, "What? I can't hear you. Speak up. May I please have a drink?" "What? You need to speak up if I'm going to serve you around here." And the pony says, "I'm sorry, I'm just a little hoarse." All right, did you hear about the insomniac, agnostic, dyslexic? They lay awake all night wondering if there was a dog. How do you keep a Baptist from drinking all the beer when you're fishing? Bring another Baptist. Alright, here's the last one. This one might be a little edgy for Wesley. What is every Amish woman's fantasy? 2 men a night. I'll be here until 2015. Thank you.